Hey, Calli feature here, aka Calli, 3.23 Affliction League, and I'm back with a follow-up video to my budget cast when damage taken guide. This is just a quick medium and high budget progression guide explaining all of my upgrades. And then if you've never played cast when damage taken, I'd recommend watching my budget video guide first, as I also explain more in depth how to get the actual ward loop and cast when damage taken setup going. A link for that will be in the description, and then yeah, I'm just going to get started with a quick showcase of the feared that I just did, and then I'll go over how to upgrade into medium budget and then high budget. So, alright, here we go. Alright, so just a disclaimer, the showcase was with my high budget version, so 100 div invested so far, and I'll do more showcases of the medium and high budget versions at the very end if you guys want more footage. But yeah, let's get started with the medium budget upgrades. So I got my medium budget POB here. I got to level 93 when I did this. And I got notes here for all the gear I bought and how much it cost. And this was 2 weeks ago already, so prices should be actually cheaper. So this was about 25 div 2 weeks ago. I'm betting it's probably under 20 now. The only thing I changed with the tree is I got rid of these nodes up here, and then I put them down here to get a couple more flash charges gained. And then I moved the Balbala Jewel over here too, so that way we can get suppression, because we're gonna get max suppression in the high budget version and when you get more levels. So like these four are the next four once you get higher levels. But yeah, let's go over the gear. So what I did is I just saved up 20, 25 div, and then I just upgraded everything at once because I absolutely hate trading, but I know a lot of people don't like doing that. So I've got a couple notes here about the few things you can do first. But I recommend doing the staff and all ward resistance gear together and last, because it is very hard to get the resistance capped once you get the staff, because your resistances are so low. But yeah, so the first item you can do is actually the Unnatural Instinct Jewel. Just plop it in right here, and then you get a bunch of stats. That one's actually really good. And then the Flask for second, so Dying Sun Flask, and the Alchemist Quicksilver Flask with a rainbow. So this will give you more damage and fire res, and so help once you upgrade your staff too. This is a great flask as well because it's increased effect, so it's additional movement speed and more resistances. So I recommend getting those. And then what else could we do quick? Oh yeah, so the 2120 gems and like 20 gems, so Awaken gem right here. You want to get all your gems upgraded. And then lastly was the, oh yeah, 4 2 dust jewels instead of 5, because in the budget version we had 5 for like, 5C each. But just make sure it's still up to 74% total. That way you get an extra jewel slot open for later. And then yeah, lastly, you want to open a bunch of tabs, buy the staff. It doesn't have to be 6 link, 5 links fine to start. But you want to get 60% max rolled though, so 60% reduced elemental resistances. Like if you get higher, it's like gonna be even higher, even harder to cap your res. So you want to get max rolled 60%. And then yeah, then you want to get all the ward gear as well. And I spent probably, how much did I spend here? It's on here. So 4 div for the helmet. Ward boots was 1 div, 172C. Ward gloves was 4 div. Yeah, so I mean, it's tough to get high ward and cap your res like once you get the annihilating staff. So just be forewarned, which is why I did everything at once. So. And then the last couple things to mention is upgrading the amulet to the Pandemonious. You can actually do this like first or last or whenever you want, basically, as long as you have the attributes for it. And you need 20 Turbulent Catalysts to get the upgrade from damage to 20 to get the damage penetrates to 20% to 24%. So just more damage, And then I allocated Infused Flesh just because I remembered on this budget version, with just the Natural Instinct, you only have 12% recoup, so your recoup's there, but it's kind of slow. you're not as tanky, and I died a little bit more often than I wanted to because I wanted to level on my own. So I just got this anointed actually on my amulet. It's pretty cheap. And that way my recoup was a lot more. I wasn't dying as much. But I mean, you can get recoup elsewhere, like on your jewels, which was my next point actually. The jewels, you should have 3 extra jewel sockets now, and I use them to cap my res. But you can also use them to cap your res and get flask effect duration attributes, recoup, anything you might need yet, just to like make your build function a little more smoothly. So up to you on those last jewel sockets. And then lastly was, oh yeah, my belt and the cooldown recovery breakpoints. So in the budget version, we just did 9%. So the 3 main breakpoints are 9%, 27%, and 52%. And the budget version, you just do 9%. And then this version, we're going to go for 27%. And the old way, which is what I always did in past leagues, because it's just usually the most efficient way, is you get 20% increased cooldown recovery rate on your belt. And then you get 5% on your boots, you roll it. And then you also get 2% from an Abyss Jewel. So I have an Abyss Jewel here somewhere. Where? This one right here. So 2% increased cooldown recovery rate. And that's a total of 27%. But this league actually is very easy to get 27% cooldown recovery rate because of charms. I actually didn't do the league mechanic until recently. So on my medium budget version, I had nothing because I was just skipping the league mechanic. Trying to get this build to work and be efficient again. So you can just get a bunch of cooldown recovery rate in there and be a lot easier. So, and then yeah, that's pretty much it for the medium budget version. Version. It's late here. Don't be judging. And yeah, let's get on to the high budget version now. Let's go. Alright, welcome to the high budget version of Casual Damage Taken. Alright, so I have all these notes in my notes section right here on my POE, so I'm just going to read it over actually. So if you don't want to listen to me read it over to you and explain it, just download the POE and read the notes and go from there. But anyway, here we go. So in the notes section, I have all the gear I bought and the prices I paid, and then I have the better trading codes to buy everything faster. So I paid about 82 div, 576 C, so about 100 div total on my character. And then right here I have the recommended order of buying items. So goal number 1 is to, I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me zoom in. Goal number 1 is to get level 98 or higher. If you can't, no worries, just remove crit nodes or life. Goal number 2 is to buy a perfect rolled Pandemonious, or a good rolled one, doesn't have to be perfect. And then you want to add 20 turbulent catalysts, and then have Whispers of Doom anointed, that is required, so it's 3 golden oils. That way you can have 2 curses, 1 frostbite, and the mark, sniper's mark. And then goal number 3, you want to get your 4th flask up and running. So this one needs a lot more. So I'd recommend getting the belt first. Probably a Stygian Vice, doesn't have to be, but it's nice to have. And then you want to have reduced flash charges, increased flash effect duration, and then an open suffix. That way you can craft 12% increased cooldown recovery rate. And that does require exalted orbs, and it does take a few to get max roll, so you probably need 5 or 10. Or you can just buy it already, like roll, craft it on there, Life and mana is not needed, it's just a bonus to have. And then, let's see here. And then you need cluster jewels. So you need a large cluster with Prismatic Heart, Storm Rider, Chaos Forever attributes, whatever you need. Then another large cluster with Prismatic Heart, Sadist. This one will give you a big damage increase. And then 2 medium clusters, so basically identical. Fasting, 3% increased flash charges gained. And I paid 4 div for 2 of them. And the 3% are required to help get that 4th flask up. And then a medium cluster with Eye to Eye and Repeater. That's a projectile cluster, and that's just more damage. So I'll go over them here real quick. So we removed a bunch of skill points from the medium budget version right here, and right here, and we put them all into this cluster over here. And then we also got these for 100% spell suppression. And then yes, we upgraded our flash duration medium cluster right here, and then we upgraded our large too. Then we got another large, and then another medium cluster, and then the projectile cluster. So big damage increases. And then you should be able to get your 4th flask up. Oh no, so we still need to get the Brutal Restraint upgraded with 20% or more increased flash charges on tree. I use the seed at 2937, and I'll show you that real quick. So I put it right here, it's seed 2937, and then this gives me 10% increased flash charges here, and another 10% right here. You want at least 20. If you can get 30 or 40, great. You can, you know, don't have to get as good a belt and other stuff to get your 4th flask going. And then to find a good jewel, actually, if this seed is not available for trade, I have a website right here. You just copy and paste this in, and then just follow the instructions. It's real simple. You just click on Brutal Restraint, you click on Balbala, and then you click the spot on the jewel tree, and then it tells you, it like searches all the seeds for you, and it tells you like what everything is. So that way you're not just guessing on POE trade. You know, like you know exactly what you're buying. It's very nice. And then to get my 4th flap, I also needed a 10% increased flask duration jewel, so I got that with just damage recoup and anything else I needed. So I needed res, so I got that. And then eventually you should be able to get your 4th flask up and running, and I use the Dabbler's Diamond Flask of the Order, which is reduced mana costs, so I'll show you that quick. 24% increased, or reduced mana cost, sorry. And if you can't get your 4th flask up still, you can just take 3 skill points and just get these 2 right here, 10% increased flask charges gained. It should get you going. I did use these 2 for a long time, and I actually did use Careful Conservationist 2 for a little while. Just a warning though, it does lower your ward, so it's not the best one to have. But if you can't get your 4th flask going and need to get these 3, it's totally fine for a temporary solution, you know. Alrighty, and then so you should be able to get your 4th flask up, and then after that, I would upgrade your chest to 3 blue, 2 red, 1 green. So you're replacing your added cold with Empower level 4. So I think I paid 10 div. These chests are a lot more expensive than the other chests because of the colors. And then you should get a beneficial keystone too. I prefer Solipsism. Solipsism gives you reduced ailments right here. So 2% reduced duration of elemental ailments on you. And so basically you're just never really shocked or ignited anymore. If you are, it's just very quick and then it expires. So it's pretty nice to have. Just make sure you don't get a keystone that bricks you, you know. And then yeah, goal 5. Everything else is up to you. Those are the 4 main things that you should do first, and then everything else, it's totally up to you. So if you want to get better ward gear, go for it. Do it all at once though, just like last time. Or you can go for 52% increased cooldown recovery rate first for more damage. And so I get 15% from the Forbidden Flame and Forbidden Flesh Saboteur, 23% from Charms, so I have 11 and 12%. Those are a little expensive. I think they're like 2 or 5 div each. Then 12% from my belt, 2% from an Abyss Jewel, that's a total of 52. And then if you do have a total of 52%, you can allocate the Duration Mastery, 10% less skill effect duration. I don't know how I feel about this yet. I was reading up on it. I don't know if all the cast when damage taken info is still accurate or not after all the changes of this league. I think it is, and I feel like I do have a little more damage when I do this now, but nothing changes in POB, and I'm still learning this build as I go too. But I have it allocated for now here. Just make sure it doesn't brick your build. If it does, then just get rid of it. You know, just make sure your ward loop also, you know, stays going. So, and then what else we have here? Perfect. Oh yeah, 15% Watcher's Eye, Charm with 8% friendly charge on hit. These are all nice to have. You know, you can get these whenever. You can get these first if you want. These are just a little extra stuff. Harvest Juice on your weapon. And then yeah, goal 6. Make sure your gems are 2120 everywhere possible. Make sure you like go into my skill gem section here and like copy them perfectly. So I got Calling Strike now, I got Frostbolt now instead of Creeping Frost. I noticed that it's better for clear, and it actually, I lag less with Frostbolt over Creeping Frost, which is weird. So, and then I also added Sigil Power. It's a little extra bonus for offense and defense, so I'm still testing that one out, but it seems pretty good so far. But yeah, just go through here and make sure everything is pretty much exactly the same, and you should be good to go. And then lastly, oh yeah, make sure you have added fire damage to spells and added lightning damage to spells anywhere. So it can be your Abyss Jewels, or you can roll it on your helmet. I think I rolled one of them on my helmet here. So items, helmet, yeah. So I got fire damage to spells. So that way you can ignite and then shock, and you already chill anyway with your skills. So that way you get the maximum bonus from your sadist over here. So yeah. That's pretty much it. I just wanted to do a quick recap and get this video out because I know a lot of people have been waiting on it for a while here. So I'm sure I'm missing a few things, but I just want to get this video out. I'll go over some more info here, and if I did miss stuff, I'll put it in the comments or in the description, and I'll follow up on it more later. But yeah, so my next goal is to do a 300 to 500 version, like a super expensive version. No promises I actually finish it though. I am pretty busy with real life and my job and everything. But if you got more questions, feel free to drop on my YouTube channel or at my Twitch stream, which is maybe once or twice a week I'm trying. Twitch.tv/CalPigeonFeature. And yeah, that's all she wrote. So yeah, I'll get some footage here quick for the medium, the average experience for like the mapping experience for the medium budget, and then the high budget. So I'll put those in right now, and then we'll end the video. So that's it. Peace.